Hello and welcome to Craft Time with Pastor Missy. It is so good to be together, even if we have to be together this way. So hopefully some of our people from Terrific Tuesday are getting a chance to see this, and maybe some other folks too. But we're going to have some crafts together, because you know we love to have our craft time together. And right now we don't get to do that the same way. So I thought, how about some video crafting? So here we go. We are going to make homemade Play-Doh today. So we're going to need some flour, some salt, and it can be any kind of salt. I just happen to have, this is what I had, so this is what I'm using, and water. And we're not going to make a bunch of Play-Doh. When we would make it together, some of you remember a couple of years ago when we made a big, huge bowl of it. But we're going to make a little bit so that it's a good amount to play with, because this Play-Doh doesn't last very long. You can actually let it harden, but it'll start to crack after a little while when it hardens. But you can play with it, or play with it and then put it into a baggie and put it in the refrigerator, and then take it out and play with it again. But after a couple days or maybe a week, you want to get rid of it because it'll start to get nasty. But this is a no-bake, no cooking Play-Doh, so that you can make it yourself with an adult's help. And if you're older, maybe all on your own. So remember, we needed flour, salt, and water. That's it. We have a bowl, and we are going to put a ½ cup of flour in there. This is a 1/4 cup measure, so we're going to do that. And to get a ½ cup, using a 1/4 cup measure, we've got to do 2. 1, 2. Because 1/4 plus 1/4, 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 2/4, which equals 1/2. So now we've got our ½ cup flour. Make sure your flour is closed up or off to the side so you don't spill it. And then we have a ½ cup of flour, but we need half that much salt. So if we know that we use 2 1/4 cups to make a ½ cup of flour, we know we need 1/4 cup to make put in enough salt. So here we go. Now, woo, it's slipping and sliding around in there. Now this is a little bit rocky, this salt, so hopefully this will work okay, because it's what I had. So we're going to add that in. And then you can use a spoon if you want to, kind of stir it all up. But you can also use your hands, because you're going to get your hands messy anyway. You want it to feel a little bit like, it won't feel like flour anymore. It'll feel like gritty flour, if that makes sense. It'll have, it should have a grittiness to it. I think I need a tiny bit more. And I'll tell you, if you have regular, like, table salt, it's better than this. For this. Sea salt's yummy. It's really, really yummy. But I just didn't have any here. I had some at the church, but not here. Now, see how I've mixed it up? And it doesn't look quite the same anymore. And it feels a little different. It feels gritty. But it doesn't just feel like it's salt. It feels like salt and flour. Now, I'm going to start adding a little bit of water. Now, we can try to guess. Remember, this is a 1/4 cup. We could do a ½ of one of these. So that would be 1/8 of a cup. And let's see if that's, I'm almost afraid to put that much in there. We'll see. I'm going to start off like this. Squish it in there really good. Okay, well, as you can see, that's not enough. It's not making a dough yet, is it? So let's try. Another 1/8 of a cup. So it's half of that again. Oh, I hope I didn't put too much in. Okay, I think this is going to be good. Now, what that tells us is we used a ½ cup of flour, a 1/4 cup of salt, and just about a 1/4 cup of water. Now, if this doesn't work out and it gets too goopy, because it might, you can always add a little more flour to it. And if you need to, a little more salt. I think this is working out. Look at it. It's coming along. Look at that. It's still got a little, right now it looks like it still needs a little more water, but I don't think it does because you have to work it a little bit, and it'll take up all the extra flour. See how it's starting to do that the more I work it? Now, you don't have to have a clear bowl or anything like that. I found I had a clear bowl and I thought it'd be good for weeks so we could see what was going on. But now, see, here's our Play-Doh. Now, Play-Doh's a little bit sticky, but it's pretty good. And it'll dry out a little bit with a little bit of time. So now, see, get the rest of that. All right. Now you notice I put something down here. I still made a little bit of a mess. But I put something down. And now, look at that. I've got Play-Doh and I can make, let's see. Oh, I know. Big. This, because I had, my salt was a little different. I don't know if this is going to work out very good, but let's see. Let's see here. Oh, mine is a little bit sticky. Look at that, I made a teddy bear. Can you see it? Look at that. Now, if he sat there for a while, he would dry, and I could even paint him or try to color him with markers or something if I wanted to. But the nice thing about homemade Play-Doh is, look at that. It took us just a couple minutes, and we made Play-Doh, and we have something to play with. And if you want to save it for later, you just put it in a baggie, and you put it in the freezer or the refrigerator. And now this is a sandwich baggie, so they're not quite as strong and they can get holes. So I might decide, if I don't have a freezer bag, I might decide to put it in too. Keep it nice and safe. And I put it in the refrigerator. And remember, it'll stay for a while. If you see something starting to get fuzzy and grow on it, throw it away. It's time to make new, okay? Now remember, always ask permission to use any flour or salt or anything like that, because if you use all the flour that's in the house and come to find out somebody wanted to bake something, ooh, it's going to be a problem. So make sure you talk to an adult and you make sure it's okay. But you can go from a little bit of flour and salt and water to your very own animals. So have a great time. I miss you. It's hard being apart, isn't it? Take good care. I know a lot of you've got schoolwork and stuff like that. Keep being strong and keep at it, and know that you are in our thoughts and prayers. We love you so much and we miss you. I've been talking to some of the grown-ups who also volunteer and work with you, and they miss you. We all do. So you take good care, love you, and we'll see each other as soon as we can, okay? All right, love you. Take care.